Hello, welcome to Yoga for Osteoporosis. And today we're going to do some standing poses, some seated poses, some belly down, known as prone poses, and on our back, known as supine poses, as we get going here. So we're not going to have a lot of flow. We're just going to do some steps in and out of things there. I'm going to give you positive life affirmations. This is my birthday week. I turned 45 yesterday. So I'm going to give you different things to ponder around that as we go along. If you need a different intention, please feel free to bring that in. So just blocks today. I've got a strap back here. This is going to be used more for our seated and belly down poses here. But you can have that available. And that being said, sitting nice and tall, envisioning some length from crown to tail, zipping up that front body. So a strong front will give us a stronger back, maybe a slight tuck in the chin. And we will settle in here. So as you're here, just notice the body. Is there anywhere that you could soften just a little bit more? Maybe that's through the jaw, the shoulders, the hips. And then once you've softened, maybe a little bit more, bring that awareness to the breath. So do you have a smooth breath on that inhale so it's not choppy, rapid, or anything like that? And smooth on the exhale. And as you inhale through the nose, can you find some expansion of that rib cage? And then slowly exhaling it out. Big inhale, expand. And slowly exhale. Good. Now we'll take this into some box breathing here. So this is the 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 breath. So we're going to inhale for 4, we'll hold for 4, we'll exhale for 4, and then we'll hold for 4 again. We're going to do that 4 times, okay? So nice big exhale to prepare. And we will inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Return to the normal breath. Notice how you feel. From here, big inhale, taking the arms up. Good, let's get a nice side bend. I'm going to take this one to the left. So I'm really reaching nice and long with this top arm. So I'm not letting it bend here. When you keep it long, you get a little bit more engagement in that side body. Breathe and expand that rib cage. And then once you're ready, trying to use your oblique, your side abdominals here, coming up and reach. And we'll take that to the right, over, Nice long arm. Breathe and expand. And try to avoid a front shoulder collapse here, just like that. See if you can keep that nice and open. And then we'll engage and we'll come back up. We'll reach, nice tall spine here, always twisting from length, taking the arms down, rolling shoulders back, maybe looking a little bit behind you. Breathe and expand. So remember, we're always going to twist from a long spine. And if you cannot expand the rib cage on your twist, then we are too deep into that twist and need to back off. So be mindful. Inhale to lift, exhale center, inhale, exhale, taking the arms down, rolling the shoulders back, looking behind you. Breathe and expand. And then once ready, we'll lift up and we'll come back to center. Good. We're going to come onto all fours. Now, if you're okay in the wrist, if you don't have osteoporosis or problems there, you can be on your hands. If you do have it there and being on your wrist is not a good idea for you, then you've got some options here. So if you've got a couple blocks, which I hope that you do, you can do your half cat cow here, because remember, we're not going into flexion, on your forearms. Okay, so that's a way that you can do that there. If that is, you feel like it's too high, you can always do this on your forearms on the floor as well. Okay, so take the modification as you need it. So we're still going to spread the fingers nice and wide, rooting through the knuckles of the pinky, pointer, and thumb. Let's take the knees about hip width apart or slightly wider. Good. Now, my belly button is in, my back is flat. From here, we're just going to take it into the cow. So I'm going to inhale, take the chest forward, tip the pelvis back. And then on my exhale, I'm going to come back to the flat back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, flat back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, flat back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, flat back. Great job. From here, we're going to take this into a child's pose. So knees can be together as wide as the mat or somewhere in between. You want to keep a longer spine here, if possible. So maybe taking the arm more in front of you. You can always take them back here too if you need that. Good. And just breathe and expand. Zip up that front body. And then your first affirmation I give you here is life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. And then once you're ready, good. We'll take the hands under the shoulders and come back up to all fours. Now, we're going to take this into a downward facing dog. So again, if being on your wrist is not a good place for you to be, you can be on your forearms here, and I'll just demo this real quick. So if you're on the floor here, you can tuck the toes and lift up. You're on the forearms, it's a dolphin. It's a dolphin. Shoulders are back, head and neck are free, knees can be bent as needed. Good. And you can do the same thing on your blocks if that's too close to the floor for you. You can come up here and find a modification this way. Good. Now, those of you that don't have that issue are welcome to follow me in a traditional downward facing dog. So I'm going to keep my hands where they are because I'm a shorter person. Taller people, you can take a half a hands width or full hands width forward. Then I'm going to tuck the toes. As I shift the hips back, I'm pressing in and forward into my hands. I'm going to lift my knees and lift the hips. Good. So everybody here, regardless of what version you're doing, shoulders are away from the ears. If you're in traditional down dog, elbows are going to turn forward. Your head and neck are free. Knees, I'm going to recommend, are a little bit bent here. Okay. And then depending on how you feel, you can, bend a little deeper, lengthen a little bit. You can still walk your dog here. This is still doable in dolphin. Good. And then once you're ready, just take a little bit of stillness. Take a big breath. And then in the way that's best for your body, good, I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to set my feet forward. So if you're on dolphin, you will have to briefly come up onto your hands here. Good. Bringing the hands here, bringing the feet here. Good. Now I'm going to lengthen my spine because I don't want to round it. Come to blocks if you can't comfortably touch the floor. Knees are always bent here. Okay. So I'm at all four corners of my feet. Okay. And then I'm going to press through my feet and legs. I'm going to come up, kind of a halfway lift. And then I'm going to bend my knees. I'm still keeping that back long as I come down. Let's do that a couple more times. Really press through the legs. And bending as come down. So you really want to get into the habit here of using your body weight, using your legs to lift and not your back. And that's true even if you don't have osteoporosis, quite frankly. Good. And then we'll come back up one more time and lengthen. And we'll bend the knees. Good. From here, pressing into the feet and legs, long back. We're going to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Finding a mountain, which is a nice, strong standing position. Finding that intention and finding the breath. Okay. From here, we're going to step back into a high lunge. So depending on how your balance is, you might be able to just step straight back here and be fine. Others might need a little assistance. So if you need assistance, follow me. We're going to bend the knees. Hands are going to be on the block. Your right leg is going to be the one that steps back. You're on parallel railroad tracks here. So hips, knees, and toes are going to track forward and then press into that front heel. Press into the heel. We don't want to press into the knee. Press into the heel and then find your high crescent here. Good. So my arms are up and you can take a wider stance if that's needed for you. My front hip is back hip is forward because I'm squaring them off forward and I'm zipping up. And I'm just going to breathe right here, relaxing the shoulders. And we'll try to hold these for about 4 to 5 breaths. If that's not where you are today, do what you can and take a break. It takes time to build strength. It takes time to work on balance. Good. Now, for those of you that want it, zip up the front body and maybe find just a little bit of a back bend here. You're not going to go very far. So I'm taking my gaze where my ceiling and my wall meet. And then from here, I'm going to take my arms up. Good. From the hip, long back, come to your blocks or the floor. I'm going to bring my blocks in closer to me. We're going to take this back leg down. So we're going to take this into a low lunge. Good. And it looks like I do need some knee cushion today. So I'm going to bring my blanket in here. Always protect your knees. Good. Now, once I'm down here and set, I'm going to take this foot more forward. Okay, so I've got the flexibility here to where my hip is forward of the knee. This is where you want to come as well. You're not really getting into the hip flexor a whole lot if the hip is over a knee and if that's a different position. So we want to try to get in there. Now let's kind of loosen this up a little bit. I'm just going to kind of take it back and come back in. And you can lengthen that front leg here too a little bit if that suits you. Good. Good. Now we'll take that deeper lunge, hands on blocks. That can also be on the floor. Good. The left hip, that front hip is going to come back. I'm lengthening through my torso. I'm zipping up. Remember, nice long back. So if you're rounded down like this, you're in flexion. You need to be in extension. Okay. Good. Breathing. What about, I am in charge of how I feel. I am in charge of how I feel emotionally and mentally. And sometimes physically. So for example, if you were in this pose and you're like, this just doesn't feel good to me. Well, you're in charge. Get out of there. Don't stay there if it doesn't feel good to you. Okay. And so from here, we're going to take this into a twist. So you can have your hand on your block at any height that's needed. I'm going to take mine down. You can also come to the floor. Again, we're going to twist from length. So really lengthen that torso. Take that chest more forward. Hand on the block or to the floor. We're going to twist to the left. Good. And breathing. Now, depending on where you are in your movement practice, you can stay here. You can turn the palm, maybe wrap around, opening that left shoulder just a little bit more. Strong in that right shoulder. Try not to hang there. And when you're ready, we will release and come out. Good. So to come out of here, good. I've got my hands on the blocks. I'm going to bring this foot in a little bit closer to me. I'm going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, front foot steps up to meet, or back foot steps up to meet the front. Good. I've still got a nice long back here. Good. I'm just going to bend my knees. Now, from here, knowing where we're going to go, pull this a little closer. Good. You can use your blocks to step the left foot back and find your lunge here, or you can press through the feet, come all the way up, and step the left foot back. Good. So find your lunge the way you need to get there. Front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. You're on parallel railroad tracks. Back heel is not grounded. That back hip is not turned out or anything. This is not warrior one. This is high crescent lunge. And breathe. You can also lengthen this front leg here at any time. And you should always be able to look down and see those toes. So if you can't, that foot needs to be more forward. Breathe. Life is beautiful. I choose. I'm in charge of how I feel. And then again, just like we did on the other side, if you want to invite that back bend in here, make sure that front body is zipped up nice and tight, and you can take it back. Just open. And again, you don't have to go very far. We'll take that back up. Good. From here, I'm going to lengthen as I come to my blocks. Good. And then I'm going to lower that left knee. So cushion it if you need to. Good. I'm going to take my right foot more forward. And let's go into that dynamic stretch. I'm just going to move forward and back. And when you're ready, good. Find your low lunge. Find your length. So even if you've got a wrist issue, most of this weight, almost all of it, should be in the low body. Okay. So you shouldn't be holding on down here for dear life with your block. We're lengthened. We're lifted. My shoulders are back. My blocks are here for a little bit of support, but I want to try to get to a point where I don't need them here. Okay. And then once you're ready, good. We're going to take it into a twist on this side. So your left hand can be on a block at any height or the floor. Good. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen in the torso. So we're twisting with length, and we're going to open to the right. Good. Now, again, depending on where you are in your practice, you can stay here. You can rotate. You can wrap. You can open that shoulder. Belly button is in. There's a light pressure on the hand, but not a deep pressure. You can always come to a fist here if you need to do that. So almost always a way to make something more accessible. And then once you're ready, we'll come out of there. Good. Now I'm going to bring this foot closer to me. I'm going to tuck my back toe. I'm going to lift my back knee. Good. I still want a longer spine. And then the back part of the foot, or the back foot, is going to meet the front foot. Good. Now, I've still got a nice long back here. Bend those knees. Good. Pressing up, nice long back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding your breath, finding your mountain, finding your intention. Good. So from here, we're not going to come down on the floor for a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and move my blanket now out of the way. Good. And we're going to do a step back into a warrior two. A step back into a warrior two. So I'm going to step back with my right leg. Good. So you're kind of back in your lunge. Now this hip, knee, and toe are going to turn out. Good. Make sure that you're pressing through the back edge of the foot here. Good. Hip, knee, and toe of the front are going to stay there. Front hip's going to come back though. So your back hip's going to come forward just a little bit. Try to keep your hips here and then just twist from the torso and reach. So warrior two is a twist, even though it doesn't often look like it. Good. Gaze is off the front fingertips, relaxing the shoulders. We're zipping up. Front knee tracks towards the pinky toe. You give it a glance. You should be able to see those toes. Yes. How about I believe in myself and in my dreams? I believe in myself and in my dreams. Good. So we're going to take this into an exalted warrior. It is more challenging to keep this knee bent. It is less challenging if you lengthen it. So choose what you need to do here, and we'll take it back. Reaching. Looking up. Building that strength in the lower body here to help you when you come up and down in things. We'll find that warrior two. Good. We'll find an extended side angle here. So remember, extended side angle is not a forward fold. We're keeping that spine nice and long. So from here, pressing into the feet, especially the back one. I'm lengthening. I'm hinging from the hip. When I can come no more, you can take a forearm to a thigh. I'm going to take my hand to a block onto the floor. Outside is going to be easier. Inside is going to be a deeper rotation. So be mindful with what your body is or is not made for right now. And then I'm just going to take this up. Good. So again, most of this comes from the feet and the legs. So you could theoretically then, lift your hand off that block or the floor. Top arm can come up overhead if you want it to. I'm going to bend that front knee just a little bit more. Good. Breathing. And then from here, I'm going to take my top arm up. I'm going to look down at that front foot. I'm going to press through. I'm lengthening. And I'm going to come back one more time. Good. So my hips haven't really shifted here. I'm going to try to keep them stable here as you move. And then once you're ready, I'm going to come back up. Good. I'm going to step, hips, knees, and toes. We're going to turn forward now. Okay. If you want a block to put your hands on for support, or even two blocks, because you've got this way, you've got this way, you've got this way, depending on how you feel, you can do that. I don't need them here, so I'm just not going to use them here. I'm just going to put that on each side. Good. And then from here, with a little bend of the knee, hands can come to the waist. We're going to fold. Good. I'm keeping my back long. You'll know when you need to take your hands down. Good. So again, most of this is in the legs. So again, I could lift here. Okay, that takes strength and practice. So we don't want to just collapse and put everything into the wrist. So belly button is in. Now, if you've got more flexibility in the hips and the hamstrings and you want to take this deeper, you are welcome to do so, as long as you can keep a nice long back here. So kind of almost think about the spine going into a cow pose. So if you take that chest just a little bit more forward, you'll get a little bit more length if you're having trouble. And breathing. And once you're ready, good. I'm going to lengthen back to wide-legged table, little bend in the knees. I'm going to walk my hands back up. And then from here, when you're ready, let's just take this right into the other side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heel toe, set my feet together. And from, you will be back at the top of your mat. I'm just switching sides because I don't want my back to you when we go to the other side. So now we're gonna step the left leg back going into warrior two. Left leg comes back. Good. So come to that high crescent if you need to. Good. Hip, knee, and toe are gonna turn out a little bit. So be mindful here. Hip, knee, and toe of the front leg are gonna track forward. Front hip comes back. Good. Knee tracks towards pinky. Good. And then keeping my hips where they are, I'm gonna rotate the torso to the side and reach. So warrior two on the side, gazes over the tip of the fingers. And breathing. Remember, strong front, strong back, strong leg, strong back. And when you're ready, with a bent knee, that's going to be harder. Where you lengthened front leg, that's going to be easier. You choose. We'll take that straight back. Hips, try not to move them. Just reaching up. Here's your exalted. Breathing. There is value to what I have to offer. There is value to what I have to offer. There is value to what you have to offer. There is value to what you have to offer. Good. And then from here, when we're ready, we come back, find your warrior two, watch your knee tracking. We'll take this into extended side angle. So just like the other side, really press through this back leg, back edge of the back foot. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. When you can lengthen no more, you can take a forearm here. You can take a hand to a block here and open up. Arm can stay up or it can come long. Back is long. Back is long. Breathe. And even though you're using a block, again, I'll just show this on the inside here. You can always take a fist if that makes the wrist happy. Find it where you need it. How about I choose joy? I choose joy. Arm up, look down at that front foot, get into that front heel, coming back up, and we can go back into exalted one more time. And once you're ready, we'll come back up. Hips, knees, and toes are going to track back forward again here. We're going to do one more forward fold. Good. Making sure toes are even, pressing through the outer edges. Bring in blocks here if you need them. I'm going to take my hands back to my waist, and I'm just going to come as the hip, the hinge from the hip. Good. You'll know when you need to take your hands down. Nice long back here. Take that chest more towards the floor, kind of in that cow position, if that helps. And again, if you are okay with going a little bit deeper, you can. Breathe and expand, softness in the knees. And once you're ready, good. We'll come up here if you went deeper, a little bend in the knees. Walk the hands back up. Good. We're going to take this into triangle, and we're going to come into that from here. So on my left side, my hip, knee, and toe are going to turn towards the left. They're straight towards the left. And I'm going to angle in on my back leg here. Okay, so hip, knee, and toe are going to turn a little bit more forward here. Good. Now, you can have a shorter or longer distance between the feet. It's really dependent on your body. And then once you're ready, good. My left leg is forward, so I'm going to take my left arm forward. Left hip is coming back, right hip coming forward. And I'm going to lengthen, 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 lengthen. When I can come no more, softness in this knee. You can take a hand to the thighs. You can come to the shin. You can bring in a block here or two, maybe having another one stacked on underneath it. And then I'm just going to open to the side. And maybe you don't need blocks anymore here. Maybe you can just come. Good. My back still is long here. This is not a forward fold. It's a hinge from the hip. Okay. So take it where you need to take it. Open up that shoulder. Look up at that hand if you can. Balance here is in those strong legs. And when you're ready, looking down at that front foot, we'll put a bend in that front knee and come up. Good. So as we transition to the other side, we'll come back up. Hip, knees, and toes are going to turn out away from the body. So for this one, you don't want to take the hips any lower than the knees, and you don't want the knees to fall in here like this. And see how I'm collapsing into my arches? It's causing that. So really press into the outer edges of the feet, hip, knees, and toes track. Let's take this into a sunrise flow. So big inhale, exhale, find your squat. And 2. And 3. How about I believe in my potential? I believe in my potential. I believe in your potential. I believe in your potential. And one more time. You can hold here. This is okay. Or come back up. Good. Let's take triangle to the other side. So from here, good. I'm just going to bring my feet in just a little bit more here just for an easier transition. So my right leg, hip, knee, and toe are going to turn out towards my right. My left leg, hip, and knee, everything's going to turn inward. And also be mindful, you want hip, knee, and toe to all face the same direction, but the rotation is from the hip. Okay, we're not rotating anything from the knee. The rotation comes from the hip. Good. Now, once you're ready, the front hip's going to come back. The back hip's going to come forward. Good. Pressing into the feet and the legs. I'm going to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. When you can come no more, take the hands to the thighs. You can come to the shin. You can come to a block or two. And then we'll open up towards the left. Looking up at that hand. Softness in that front knee. And once you're ready, we'll look down at that front foot. We're going to put a bend in that knee, and we're going to come back up. Good. From here, you can heel toe, and then step everything back in. So our balance challenge today is a warrior 3, a warrior 3. Those of you with more experience might do the full warrior 3 today. Those of you with less experience or a balance issue might do what I call a modified grounded warrior 3. So your hands are going to come onto your block or fist if you need to do it that way. Yep, so I'm going to come here. Good. So I'm going to start on the left side and being mindful here that warrior 3 looks different to everybody. So you don't have to all the way come and make your body parallel to the floor. Keeping your front knee here a little bit bent and soft. Maybe this is your warrior 3 today. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's where you are. Okay. So just kind of stop where you're stable. Okay. If you're here and you're really, really wobbly, hands need to be on something, or you need to come up a little higher. Going deeper in a pose doesn't make you magically more stable if you're not stable in the beginning. So from here, you can have hands on your block or the fist here, if this is where you want to go. Maybe some of you have that full in your practice. I'm going to be grounded today. I had a hard workout yesterday. Good. So your right leg, hip, knee, and toe are pointing towards the floor. You're out like this. You're doing something different. Good. And I'm really pressing into this left hip. So I don't want to just hang there. I really want to press and lift out of there if I can. And my belly button is in. And when you're ready, this is harder than it looks, even in this modification. Back leg's going to come forward, bending the knees, long back, and we'll come all the way up. Good. We'll take that to the other side. Now your right leg is going to be the balancing side. Hip, knee, and toe track forward. This knee will be a little soft. And again, find your warrior 3 where you need to find it. which might be different than mine, and it might be completely different for you on this side than it was on the other side. Good. So again, try not to hang, really press up and out. Left toes, knees, and hip are turning towards the floor, Belly button is in. And you should be able to breathe here. Breathe here. I believe in my potential. I believe in my potential. Life is beautiful. I am in charge of how I feel. I choose joy. And then we'll take that back foot up, bending the knees, and coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Okay. From here, we're going to come to the floor. So the best way for you to get to the floor is what I recommend. I'm going to take my feet about hip width apart here. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to take my hands to my block and then let them help me take one foot back at a time. And so then from here, I'm going to bring my blanket back in and I'm just going to sit on it. And I'm actually going to do this one a little bit sideways here, so you can, or at least on this first one, so you can see better. So now we're going to use this strap. Okay. And I'm going to take my left leg forward and my right foot is going to come into that left thigh. Okay. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. Now we want to avoid the forward flexion of the spine here. So I'm going to take my strap around the ball of the foot or the center part of the foot, wherever you're at. Get a piece of strap on each side. Sitting up nice and tall, zipping up that front body. From the hip, I'm going to keep that long spine as I come forward. And then if I want more, I'm just going to choke up on that strap. And some of you, even with a long back, might be able to reach your foot here. And you may not need the strap technically, but I'm just going to kind of show it with the strap here. Breathe and expand. There is value to what I have to offer. There is value to what I have to offer. What about I am bold and strong? I am bold and strong. Now, something else I'm remembering that I forgot to say here. If you're really tight in the hamstring, and many of you might be, you can always put something under that knee, kind of takes it out of there, makes it a little bit less intense. Folded blanket, pillow, something like that will work. Good. So I'm just going to put this to the side for now. And we're going to take this into a twist. And for this twist, I'm just going to bring my right knee up. Good. I'm going to bring this heel in as close to my glute as I can. And I'm just going to kind of hold here on the shin. So that's going to help me find a little bit more length. Belly button is in. Good. Now I'm going to keep my left hand here. Right hand's going to come behind me. And I'm going to twist to my right. And I'm really taking that shoulder back. Breathing. So just like in the beginning, if you cannot expand the rib cage on your twist, then we are too deep into our twist. And then once you're ready, good. I'm going to undo, and we'll take that to the other side. So I'm going to take my right leg forward. Good. And I'm going to take my left foot in. Okay. Again, I'm going to bring my strap in here. Okay. Good. Bring any support under this knee if you need it. Good. Sitting up nice and tall, zip up that front body, and on an exhale, good. The long forward hinge of the hip. You can choke up as needed. Maybe you don't even need the strap. Maybe you've got the flexibility in the hamstring to reach. That's amazing, by the way, if you've got that. What about good things are quickly coming my way? Good things are quickly coming my way. Another way of saying that, I have faith that good things are quickly coming my way. And then from here, we'll gently come out of there. I'll put the strap to the side. Good. to going into the twist. I'm just going to bring that left knee up. Good. I'm bringing that heel in as close as I can to my hip. Good. I'm going to take both hands here for right now. Good. Finding that nice long back. Right hand's going to stay on that left shin. Left hand's going to come behind me for support. And then I'm going to twist with that nice long spine to the left. Rolling that shoulder back. Breathing and expanding. And then once you're ready, good. We will bring that back in. And we're going to come onto the floor. We're going to come onto our belly here, onto the belly. So I'm just going to scoot forward. I'm going to take this blanket out of the way. I'm going to move my blocks out of the way. Good. Have your strap at the ready as we come on to the belly. Good. Now, once we're here, it might feel good to you to just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here with the hips. That always feels good to my low back. Whether I've been doing something or not, it feels good. Good. So we're going to take this into a locust series here, So I'm going to take my arm to my side. Your palms can face up or down. That's going to be up to you. Legs are hip width apart. Okay. So I'm going to roll my shoulders back. Good. We'll start with the half locust. Belly button is in. Good. I'm just going to lift the upper body. And I'm looking forward. Now, how high do you come up? You can come up as high as you're able without crunching the low back. How do you know if you're crunching the low back? If it feels like it's crunching, then it's crunching. We don't want that. And then we'll take that back down. Good. Hands can come back. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now the second half locust here is a little bit more advanced. Some people need a little cushion under the pubic bone. So be mindful if you're one of those people. Legs stay hip width apart. We're only going to lift the lower body. Belly button is in, and we're just going to lift. And you don't have to lift real high. And we'll take that down and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. Now, we're going to take that into a full locust here, and then I'll give an option for people that are able. So most of you are going to follow me here, and the upper and the lower body are going to lift together. If you're able to bind back here, you can certainly do that. If you're not able to bind comfortably with the shoulders, the wrist, what have you, you can modify that by taking your strap. Good. And then it's easier on the shoulders and the wrist if you keep them about hip width apart. If you keep them shoulder width apart, you make it harder the closer you take the hands together. Okay, so you choose with or without the bind. Zip up that front body. Big inhale, exhale, upper and lower. Good reach. Rolling the shoulders back. If you're bound with something, reach those hands towards your feet. And then once you're ready, we'll lower that back down and we'll release that strap. Good. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's do one child's pose here before we go on to our back. So hands under the shoulder. Good. We'll take it back, nice long back again. It's a little counter to what we just did. And then once you're ready, good. And the way that's best for you, we're going to come onto our back. Come onto your back. And then once you're here, good. I'm just going to take my feet as wide as the mat. My belly button is in tight. And I'm just going to let the knees go side to side here. Now, again, you're in charge of how you feel. So if this doesn't feel good, then don't do it. But some people can do this a little bit. Some people can come all the way over to one side and the other. So go where you can do it. Belly button is in to protect the back here. And then once you're ready, we're going to take this into a basic supine twist. Basic supine twist. So since we're not inverting, And I know that I want my blanket as a neck pillow for Shavasana. I'm just going to go ahead and bring that in. Good. I'm going to take my knees into tabletop position. Arms can be out to the side. Belly button is in. I'm going to let those knees drop all the way to the right. All the way to the right. I'm looking to my left. My left shoulder is grounded if I can. And I'm breathing and expanding. I wake up with a grateful heart. I wake up with a grateful heart. And the head will come back to center. Let's take one leg at a time, coming back to center. If you need to wiggle, we'll do that. And then once you're ready, we'll take those knees over to the left, over to the left. Right shoulder is grounded, maybe looking to the right. Breathing and expanding. I feel inspired and inspire others. I feel inspired and inspire others. And then once you're ready, good. Head will come back. One leg at a time. It's going to come back in the center. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. You can gently pull the knees in. Again, finding that length from the crown to the tail. And we will go into Shavasana from here. So different things for different people, different bodies. You can let everything come long and flop open. Most of your back, they're probably going to like bent knees here, constructive rest pose. You can also be on your side or on your belly. Be where it feels good to you. And then see if you can make yourself about 10% more comfortable. And the last thought I'll give you is I am open to receiving miracles and abundance. I am open to receiving miracles and abundance. Taking some deep breaths here, knowing you can stay right here as long as you want, as long as you need. You can choose stillness and maybe taking head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choose stillness or bringing one knee at a time into the chest. Good. Finding just a gentle tug behind the knees, a little bit of a length, a little bit of a stretch. And then once you're ready, you can take both feet down, both legs long in front of you. I'm going to move my neck pillow out of the way, both legs long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips to the edge of the toes. Whole body stretch, pointing and flexing through the feet, bending and stretching through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And whenever you're ready, bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over to your right or left side, the side that works best for your body in this moment, taking all the time that you need here. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat where we started, bringing in any props here that you may need for your comfortable seat. Comfortable is the word. Noticing here for a moment how you feel. Palms up. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. And as you take the hands down, we'll stop the thumbs at the forehead for good and true thoughts, to the lips for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving heart. knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you be well. May you know that life is beautiful. There is value in what you have to offer. You are bold and strong. You are inspiring and inspire others. I believe in your potential, and you are open to receiving miracles and abundance. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.